Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Kraken Packs video. I'm your host, MrBevers. Today we are opening up another pre-release kit of Core Set 2019. I know I'm a little late to the game on these pre-release kits because the set's been out for a couple of weeks at this point. Hey, I'm still going to open them because I'm going to do a little deck build. Let's do a little deck build together. Why not, right? Let's see where this takes us. And it's always fun to open these up and see what you get out of them, right? Let's see. We got another red die. And it doesn't look like the 15 is misprinted, so there's that. Like the last time. Alright. We have our promo. We'll save that till the end. Let's get right in. Right? Let's get right in. Now, we'll separate these into color piles, so that way we can make sure that we have everything the way we want it. This is an all-star of Limited. The Neonate's actually not bad either. This guy is very good as well in Limited. Johnny's Pride Mate, not a bad little one. And our first rare is an Isolate, which is maybe not super relevant in Limited, but hey, what can you do? And we got a foil Rogue's Gloves, and we got a Forsaken Sanctuary with an emblem for Vivian. Right now, it's hard to tell. We got a pretty even spread. We got 4 white technically with the rare, but the rare is not super relevant in this format. We got 3 blue, we got 2 black, we got 2 red, we got a green, and then we have a green black. So we technically have 2 green cards, 3 black cards, 2 red cards, 3 blue cards, 4 white cards, and then of course a Rogue's Gloves. So let's see. Talons doesn't seem terrible either. Skymarch Bloodletter is very good as well. Even though this is foiled, I'm still going to just put this here with this because these are my artifact pile. Colossal Dreadmaw, of course, a big heavy hitter in the green. Rise from the Grave is a very good card. Psychic Corrosion, hilarious. In Limited, very mean, but at the same time, unless you have the way to get it to go off, not super relevant in Limited. Vampire Sovereign, though, this is a very good card in Limited. 3/4 flyer for 5. That, you know, does a 3-point life swing, or technically 6-point life swing, because they lose 3 and you gain 3. And a Death Baron. Wow, alright. Very good rare for Limited, especially if you have the other zombies and stuff to go with it. So, I mean, black could be very, very profitable for us. Let's see. Mind Rot, Bristling. Green is looking pretty weak. Vampire Neonate, another Star Crown Stag. Essence Scatter again, another Rogues. Reliquary Tower, which we probably not gonna need. Sleep, and our rare is a Prodigious Growth, which is fine, except that our green is pretty lacking, so we just got a basic land there. So we do have 1 white-black fixing and 1 green-white fixing. So we could be like looking at like going white-green-black with the fixing if we have it. But we'll see. Murderer's Axe is just good in most decks. Naturalize is fine. Okay, first piece of removal in black, or pretty much in any of our colors. Rogue's Gloves, another Gasbark Twins. Enigma Drake. Ooh, a Sarkon. Well, so this guy's interesting, but I don't know if I like him in Limited. And the reason being is his first +1 ability is not terrible. You may discard a card if you do, draw a card. Fine. But his second +1 ability only lets you spend the mana to cast dragons. So if you don't have dragons, his second ability is useless. His ultimate is good, very good and limited, but you gotta get there. And it takes you, at minimum, 5 turns, because you have to +1 him 4 times to get to 7. And that's without him taking damage. And he has no way to protect himself. So, unless you have a way to protect him, it's not going to work out for you. That being said, though, still always nice to have a Planeswalker. And we got a foil Strangling Spores, which is pretty nice. So we got 2 removal in the same pack, and it was the same removal spell, which is not necessarily a bad one. It's not the best removal spell, but it's not bad. Also, our red's a little lacking. So, you know, Skeleton Archer, amazing with Death Baron. Such a good combo. Inferno Hellion, Herald of Faith, and another zombie card. Okay, we might be going black zombies. Unless we get something else that turns us away from black for whatever reason. Black has our only removals. We're definitely probably playing. We're definitely going to be playing black. Whether we play black-red or black-white or something along those lines, or black-green to get the Poison Trip Archer, I don't know. We'll see. We also have the Macabre Waltz, which is nice. Our first piece of removal in red, a Walking Corpse, which is another good zombie. Gift of Paradise for fixing, Arcane Encyclopedia, Knightly Valor, and a Mentor of the Meek. Okay, we are white-black zombies, because the zombie tokens let us draw cards as long as we have mana. And this enchantment puts 2/2s into play whenever our creatures die. Our non-token creatures die. Dear me. Okay, so we're going to be playing white-black, maybe splash green, if we need to. It'll really depend. I'm pretty sure we're playing white-black, so let's look. We're not playing Sarkhan. Oh, let's look at our promo card too, right? Because maybe that changes things. It's a metamorphic alteration. It's in blue. We're probably not playing blue. So we'll put this off to the side for now. There's our blue there. I don't believe we're playing red because our red is just not super strong. Electrify is good. Fire Elemental is fine filler. Inferno Hellion seems okay. Havoc Devil seems alright. Trumpet Blast is fine if you're aggro. Sure Strike is, of course, very good for red. Spark Tongue Dragon, Goblin Instigator, Spark Tongue Dragon. 3 Fire Elementals is not where you want to be in red. They are 5/4s for 5. I'll give you that. They're just not like, I mean, you'd play 2 maybe as filler, but they're not like super strong. And then the fact that our only other red card is Sarkhan, who benefits literally none of our dragons. Or I should say, it benefits 2 dragons. We have 2 Spark Tongues, and that's it. It seems mediocre at best. And our green is a little lacking as well. Like Root Snare, not really something that you want to be playing. Talons is fine, but you really need to... You really would like to have the guy that makes tokens when you enchant him, and then that makes this much better. And we have 2 Talons, which is not terrible, I guess. We have 3 Talons. 3 Talons is okay, but like let's look at our creatures in green. We have 1 Thornhide Wolves, which is a 5-drop. We have a Gasbark Twins, which is 7. We have a Bristling Boar and a Bristling Boar, and then we have a Colossal Dreadmaw and another Gasbreak Twins. So we have 2 4-drops, a 5-drop, a 6-drop, and 2 7-drops in green. And then the rest of it is just Talons and a gift and a Naturalize. So like green is not super where we want to be. That's for sure. The Poison Tip Archer is not bad. You would definitely splash for this guy. Only because of the life gain. Or I should say life loss for your opponents. Knightly Valor, fine. Dwarven Priest, triggers Mentor of the Meek. Gains us some life. Perfect. Herald of Faith, very good card. Invoke the Divine is actually a main deckable card in this format. There are a lot of enchantments and artifacts that can be blown up. Loxodon Linebreaker is just a fine 3/2 for 3. Inspired Charge is a fine combat trick. Stark-Crowned Stag, very good. Swiftclaw, 3/1 for 2, fine. Mighty Leap, fine. A Johnny's Pride Mate, because we're going to be gaining quite a bit of life, actually. Well, maybe not super amounts of life, but All of our white cards are pretty playable except for like the isolates. So like I would play these 2 Star Crown Stags for sure. I would probably play both of these Swiftclaws as 2 drops. The Pridemate we might not play just because I don't know if we have any like, do we have any life gain in the black? Oh, we do have 2 Neonates, don't we? And we have the Vampire Sovereign. And we have the Sky March. Okay. So yeah, so the Johnny's Pridemate is not terrible in this deck. Mighty Leap is fine. We probably play at least one of the Line Breakers, if not both. We play the Herald for sure, and the Dwarven Priest. And then we probably play the Inspired Charge and the Knightly Valor. And maybe you just cut like the one Loxodon Line Breaker. You then play the Neonate, the Sky March, this guy, this guy, this guy. Macabre Waltz. I don't think we care about the Stitcher. Mainly because we don't have enough Graveyard Recursion. Skeletal Archer for sure. 2-headed Zombie, yes. Both Strangling Spores. Rise from the Grave, yes. And then maybe you play the second Macabre Waltz. I don't know. But then you definitely play these 2 as well. And the Mentor. So this is definitely going to be our deck. Because we have a lot of playables in white-black. Especially in that zombie deck. So unfortunately we don't have a way to sacrifice our creatures. Which would be ideal. Because of sacking our own creatures to make 2/2s essentially, and then getting a benefit for sacking them, is a very valid scenario. But we have a lot of threats in white-black that have to be dealt with, and if we have the Open the Graves on the table, it just makes 2/2s, and then those 2/2s become 3/3s with Death Touch, right? And then the Death Baron with like the Skeletal Archer. His 1 damage is Death Touch damage, so it just shoots whatever is in the way. So, I'm pretty sure we're going to end up going white-black. I don't think... Let's see. We have to cut 3 cards? 4 cards? We have to cut 3 to 4 cards. So maybe you cut 1 Macabre Waltz. I don't think you cut the Neonates or anything like that. Because Neonates trigger this too, because it's power 0. Maybe you cut the Inspired Charge, just because it's a little bit late game. Maybe you cut the Pridemate just because the life gain's not going to be enough. But I think the Pridemate comes in... I think I'd rather play the Pridemate over one of the Swiftclaws, to be fair. Because the Swiftclaws die pretty easily to anything that's 1 toughness. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. There you go. 23 cards, 17 lands. Not a bad little connection. Now, of course, you guys probably see that we do have 2 zombies in our other pile here. I don't like the Infectious Horror that much. It's a 2/2 for 4 that when it swings, they lose 2 life. But it most likely only swings once and then it dies because it doesn't have enough staying power on the board. Now, that being said, this with the Zombie Lord absolutely is the thing. It's a 3/3 Death Touch then that does 2 damage without them blocking anything. The problem is that you have to get these 2 together. Now, I mean, you say, oh yeah, well, but the Death Baron, you have to have that with all of your other things as well. Well, this is a 4/2 with Menace for 4, which is just better than a 2/2. Because it trades up, most likely, if anything, because it does 4 damage. Skeletal Archer does a damage, so you can get rid of a flyer or something, right? The rest of our black cards are just better than that. And even though they're not zombies, like these vampires are just better than that. And it's the same with our white cards. So anyway, the only thing that you might look into splashing is the Poison Tip Archer, just because it has reach, it has Death Touch. It also triggers things when creatures die and stuff like that. Overall, not a horrible pool. Not the best. There definitely could have been another piece of removal. Our only removal is 2 Strangling Spores. So it would have been nice to have like a Lich's Caress, or maybe a Take Vengeance in white, or a Luminous Bonds in white. Luminous Bonds? Luminous Bonds was in white, I believe. Yeah, in this set. So like those would have been good to have. you know, you do what you can. We didn't really have any fixing either, right? We only got 2 of the lands that do fixing, and none of the other cards we have in here do fixing. Oh, we would probably be running this Marauder's Axe as well. So we probably have to find a spot for that, just because it's very good. We have 3 copies of Rogue's Gloves, which is kind of upsetting, because not really something we want. Because we don't really have a lot of evasive creatures per se. So equipping this to something for 2 just means that they're going to block that creature. So doesn't really help us too much. I think the game plan here with this is just to swing in with a whole bunch of zombies with Death Touch, and or just a whole bunch of zombies, and then draw a bunch of cards with Mentor of the Meek to keep things going, right? The problem is that a lot of our white cards actually have 3 power or greater, right? If you look at our white cards, right? So you've got Mentor of the Meek, Dwarven Priest triggers, this doesn't, this doesn't, this does, this doesn't, this doesn't, this doesn't, this doesn't. So all our white cards don't trigger, but our black cards do. This triggers. Oh, maybe not. This triggers, this triggers, this triggers, this triggers. So we have a few triggers, and then of course we have the 2/2s that come in from the Open the Graves or whatever it is. That black card. Yeah, Open the Graves. So like, not bad. And then of course the Poison Tip would trigger it as well if we manage to slot it in somehow. But again, we don't really have, we have like this one fixing for the green, right? Like we would have to play both these lands. We would be playing the Forsaken Sanctuary as one of our land slots just because it gives us both colors that we're playing. But the Tranquil Expanse is the only fixing we have for the green. So you would have to run this and probably at least another forest just for Poison Tip. And that makes your mana base not great, because if you draw this and don't draw either of your forests, then you can't, this is a dead card in your hand. And if you draw both your forests and then never draw this, you've now drawn land that doesn't do anything for you other than just pay for your generic costs. So I mean, like, at least those are a little bit useful compared to drawing this and not drawing your lands, but like, do you really want to put those green lands into your deck knowing that they can't help you cast any of your other cards that might be like double black, right? Do we have any double black? No, I don't think we have any double white. Oh, double white, only 1 double white card, so like, it's kind of iffy. Like if we had a Manolith or, you know, some other sort of fixing, maybe we would do it, but we don't. So I think that's about where we would be. The pool's not terrible. The pool's not terrible. And we did get a Sarkhan, which is pretty nice. A nice mythic Planeswalker. We're not playing red with this pool by any means. But yeah, not a bad little pool, that's for sure. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. And as always, may your pulls ever be better.